Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about the recently added controller support to Path of Exile, and this is like official support. It changes all the UI, changes some behaviors, and I wanted to make a video about it. I usually don't play with the controller, but I really wanted to play with the controller Path of Exile because I see some advantages, and I listed quite a lot of advantages and disadvantages, and it's not like very extensive list. I only played for 4 days with this controller support. Basically, you select the controller support going to menu. You cannot switch it on the fly. So you had to do that in the login screen. Or you actually just plug in controller in the login screen and then use the controller to log in into the game, and it will automatically detect controller and switch to controller. But right now it's still in the beta version, and it does not have, you cannot change the input methods. You cannot change the keybinds on the controller yet. So once you do that, you enter your character. You see that all the UI looks different. It's simulating the console experience. You can still use mouse for certain things. For example, right now, if I'm clicking keyboard, I'm clicking mouse, nothing is happening. You cannot control anything. You cannot click on anything. There are some exceptions, like the stash tab. You can still click with your mouse on stash tabs, but you cannot even hover over items to see them. But you can still use your mouse like to see your skills in your skill bars. Talking about skills, hotkeys, whatever, quick slots. We have 12 quick slots. By the way, this is still PC if you haven't figured it out. This is still PC. It's just simulating the console experience. I think the main reason is because a lot of people in Path of Exile have wrist pains playing only Path of Exile, but with the controller we don't have such issues. So this can work for that, or as I would say, if you want to just chill on the couch and play Path of Exile, it's very possible to play it. And overall I think the controller support is already in a very good state. Well, mostly good state. There are some bugs that I noticed. I don't quite remember, but there was a case where I tried crafting something, picked up the item from equip window to place in the crafting window, and it got stuck. I couldn't place the item anywhere at all, not even place it back in my inventory, and I had to close it and then reopen it just to be able to like move it again. But other than that, I haven't really noticed like many issues, other than like it's simulating console experience too much, I would say. It would be extremely nice if we could still manage stash tabs. Like we can click on stash tabs, but we cannot interact with any items in that. So crafting, for example, feels really bad. Now I'm gonna open the advantage and disadvantage list. I'm not sure how this is gonna look on YouTube. The last time I did this, the YouTube compression just completely screwed up the text and it was hardly readable. So I'm not sure if you will be able to read that or not. But I'm still gonna read these and expand a bit more. So the main advantages: looting range is better. It's a bit longer looting distance. Overall, you can loot quicker if you got, like, let's say a bunch of essences drop, like 5-10 essences drop in a long column. You just mash the button and it quickly picks up the items. It also has smart looting. For example, if a rare item drops in between those essences, it's gonna loot essences, jump over that rare item, and then loot other essences. And then lastly, it's gonna tag the item to pick up the rare item. So it has smart looting and it's very nice. I didn't really notice many issues. There are some problems sometimes, like you don't want to pick up Archnemesis, all the components, let's say. It can be annoying, but you can actually shuffle which items you want to loot with the right thumbstick. The left thumbstick used to move around and the right used to shuffle between, I guess, items you want to pick. Back to the advantages. So opening doors and boxes can feel much easier. It's so nice. You just run through doors, just click the button and it opens. Now, one disadvantage for that is you use A button. By the way, I'm using Xbox controller. I don't know how it is on PlayStation. A button is to interact with like a map device, open chests, open doors, and everything like that. So if you put a skill on A button, it can be a bit annoying because instead of using the skill, it may try to open like the stash, or it may try to kick the rock or open the chest or something like that, and it's not gonna cast a skill. So make sure you don't use a skill on A that would need all the time, let's say. Maybe use like steel skin or something like that. That's one of the drawbacks as well. On keyboard and mouse, a lot of players use on left mouse button some like guard skill like molten shell or steel skin, and then you move around and activate it automatically. We don't have that, and we also have only 12 keys, hotkeys rather than 13, I believe, on keyboard and mouse. Another thing, opening portal is super easy, and I love this. You click one button to open inventory, and then click A again to use the portal, and click A again to open to enter the portal. You just smash the buttons a couple times and you're in. You don't need to aim anything. It's very convenient. But you have to, I guess, have the portal in the first slot here. Now it auto targets enemies. The targeting for most skills, like let's say traps, it would auto target on enemies and throw towards those enemies that it auto targets. So it sometimes can be tricky if you want to like hit enemies or target enemies behind like the first enemy pack. Like if there's a totem, allies cannot die totem, a bunch of enemies in front, it's gonna keep throwing or keep targeting those enemies in front instead of the totem. So it could be annoying. But certain actions I think can be a lot faster than on keyboard and mouse because it has dedicated button. So for example, identifying items. So you see these are unidentified and it has dedicated button. I click B and it automatically identifies. Very convenient, very nice. I like this. On the essences, when you find essences in maps, the imprisoned essences, you can either click a button to, well, trigger them, or you can click a button to apply the remnant of corruption. You don't even need to open inventory. It's very nice. I love that. Especially I like running essences. You just run to imprisoned essences, click Y, apply the corruption, and then triple click A to trigger them, because for the essence you need to click 3 times to trigger them, even on keyboard and mouse. So that feels nice. There are a couple other things that have like dedicated buttons, but I'm not gonna mention that. Movement for me, it feels better. You just have left thumb. You just control your movement with left thumb. In some cases it feels like you could be more precise, but in other cases, like I'm not used to controlling with a controller and moving with a controller, so for me it could be a bit more difficult than for others. But I like that you can, like, I don't know, be more precise, it feels. But there are some cases where you just get stuck behind like doors or obstacles with the keyboard and mouse. When you click somewhere to move, and if there's an obstacle, it tries to go around a bit, right? But with this, it doesn't really do that. Well, it sort of does, but like, you see, it's actually hard to show. Yeah, there is a bit, yeah. There is a bit, like I'm moving straight towards the map device, but it goes around it. So there's still some cases you're gonna get stuck, but it's not a big deal, I think. And overall, I like the movement more on the controller. Now another advantage, monster health bar appears in the middle top before you can even spot them. So it makes it easier to react or prepare to react for monster encounters. So like moving around, there are no monsters, and then pop, you see the monster health bar appear, and then you immediately know that you need to prepare for the fight before you can even see monsters. Maybe it's not the case on ultra widescreen, I don't know. Gems, when gems level up, normally on keyboard and mouse you need to click on gem, the plus sign to level up, and it's so annoying. I hate that part. But on the controller support, it auto levels up. Not only that, but it also announces in the middle the gem leveled up, yay, and then it says gem leveled up to that level, and it also gained, let's say, 1% more damage. I really like that, and I wish that keyboard and mouse also had it. You can also lock, you know how if you want to lock gem to not level up anymore in with keyboard and mouse, you have to wait for it to reach the level, and then once it is able to level up, you right click to not level it up and lock it. With this you can lock it anytime. So there's a dedicated button. It's actually, you can't see it because of my camera, but you just click, you click the Y, toggle auto level. You click that, and the small lock appears near the gem, and it's locked. It's not gonna level up anymore. Actually, I'm not sure if it would still keep leveling until the end. I actually did not check that. Right, so the next thing. Right, like I said, you can log gems anytime you want. You don't need to wait for them to reach maximum XP. Awaken PvE trade macro still works. Actually, this is not true. It still works just fine. You can still use mouse for advanced. Sometimes you may need advanced mods to be able to check, like to be able to check these, because if I normally just click Control D, it's not gonna have those all mods. So you can still use trade macro as normally. I already mentioned you can still use mouse wheel and mouse left click to navigate the stash tab, but you can't really click on anything. So those are main advantages. I'm sure there are more, but I don't want to make this too long. Now, disadvantages: managing stash tab is horrible. Going through stash tabs is quite simple. Like even this, if it has subfolders, not sub tabs, like this is a folder that has more tabs. It's pretty easy to switch between these and then navigate that and switch back, navigate that. So that's not an issue. But if you want to craft something, let's say I want to craft, let's say on that. So I pick it up, drag it here, oops, drag it here, up, place it, there we go. First we need to scour it, so we go scour, click, okay. Now we go transmutation, take, apply, okay. Now we need, that's not good. Now we take that, and then we can reapply or repeat apply. No, let's say you hit one mod and that now you need augmentation, so now you take that, click, no, that's not good. You pick up that again, you do this again. Oh, one mod, okay, let's try this again. It's very inconvenient and very annoying. I wish we could click on these things with mouse. It would be much more convenient, and in general would be a lot easier to navigate this. That's my biggest issue actually, stash tab management. And I guess trading. Trading is a bit also annoying. As for the trading, you can still open like chat and type everything. And you can invite people into party by using your mouse. When you get a whisper, you can just right click and invite into party. But you cannot leave party normally. You have to go here, social screen. You have to go into the party screen, and then you can use your mouse, right click your mouse and then leave the party. I'm not sure if there's an easier way to do that, but it's very inconvenient. You cannot click on the portrait in the party window, right click and leave the party. It doesn't have leave the party for some reason. I don't know why. That's so weird. Maybe it's still in the beta and it's gonna be added later on. Another drawback is opening boxes and other things like shrines, for example, when there are enemies nearby, sometimes is nearly impossible until you kill those enemies. Now, here's the biggest problem, I would imagine. Well, actually, maybe two. Divine Shrine. Enemies are immortal. How do you kill them? Even if you dash into near the shrine, it's sometimes nearly impossible to pick up the shrine until you kill enemies, and enemies are immortal. So how do you deal with that? I don't know. I have not experienced that. I have not, like I said, I would need to play another like 2 weeks to experience more things in PvE. But how will you deal with that? I don't know. So that could be a big problem. The Blighted Hours, someone also mentioned. I have not tested Blighted Hours, but if this is the problem, opening boxes and picking up shrines, then Blighted Hours could also be a problem. I'm not sure. Now, there is a weird thing about text and everything being a bit too bright, all the UI is being too bright, but I cannot show it because it doesn't show on recordings. It only shows up on my screen, and it's not the monitor. It doesn't adjust the monitor. Even if and it is because of this UI. If I log out and switch back to keyboard, it's still gonna have the issue until I restart the game. But even then, if I log back into the game, sometimes actually is it? No, it's actually normal. The text, for example, the blue text is a bit too bright, and everything else is also brighter than normally. So I noticed some weird issue with UI and text being a bit brighter than normally, and I don't like it because I'm colorblind. and the blue text is getting close to the white text. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell if it's actually a normal mode or a blue mode. On stream it also, you cannot really see that on stream. Yeah, I would like it to be the same brightness as in keyboard and mouse. Now using flasks, I don't know if I even use the granite flask manually. I think I tried, like when I stood and did nothing else, I clicked on the granite. But you can automate the flask, but the flask it's very inconvenient. So the flask could be a problem because like you're using your left thumb to move around and then you have to use your left thumb to click the flask. So instead of moving and dodging enemies, you have to stop moving and click the flasks. It's a bad thing, but it's also, how do you avoid that? Like we don't have enough buttons, so what do? You have to use that. So I'm not sure how would that be fixable, but you can just automate your flasks. Like oh, actually I forgot to automate that. But you basically want to use flasks like that. Use when charges reach full, and then gain up to 7 charges when you are hit by an enemy. So it basically, you get hit, you automatically reuse them. But what if you're playing a dodge build that doesn't really get hit all that much? Then you would have to. You can still automate. You can still make it so that when you click one flask, it uses adjacent flask as well. I'm not sure if you can do like all the flasks the same way, but yeah, using flasks could be annoying. Now crafting, like already mentioned, is very slow and very bad. If you could use mouse to interact with the stash tab, would be much better. Ground target skills can be sometimes annoying, but I didn't see too many problems. Like you, as far as I know, as far as I experience, you cannot really like cycle between enemies that you want to target. It just auto targets enemies. And what if you want to target enemy behind our enemies? I'm not sure if you can do anything about that. It can be pretty annoying, like I said, with the divine shrines. Well, with the Alex cannot die totems, can be very annoying. Another thing, like with desecrate, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to show, but I got desecrate, and it's sometimes you see how far it casts a desecrate. Now, if I'm without moving gonna try to use flesh offering, it doesn't, because I'm not close enough. So I still need to move close enough, and then I can use flesh offering. And it's so annoying. And I actually thought this build that I'm doing is just a meme. I'm not gonna do a build guide video about this, but I thought that it's gonna be easier to play minion build, because for minions you don't really need to aim much. But I forgot how many buttons minion builds need to click. So this is kind of a nightmare, and I'm still missing a couple more buttons, and I don't have room for all the things that I need. So yeah, targeting could be a bit of a problem sometimes, but it auto targets. Like I said, it throws traps on enemies, so I don't know. Like cremation could be a problem, especially it tries to cast desecrate very far away. If you are close to enemies, it's gonna try to cast it close, but sometimes it just casts too far, and it feels bad. I think I already mentioned that no auto skill on mouse left click button, so you cannot like auto cast steel skin. I'm not even gonna be using guard skill for this, because I'm just never gonna be manually clicking it. No way. There is a problem with the locking onto waypoints sometimes. Look, I'm moving here. Now it locked onto that. See? I'm getting closer to waypoint. Now it locked onto that. I'm getting closer to waypoint. Still locked onto that. Getting closer. Still locked onto that. I'm closer to waypoint, but it's still locked onto that. I'm on the waypoint already, but it's still locked onto that. So if I were to click A, it's gonna open the locker instead of the waypoint. Now it's locked onto waypoint. And this is really annoying. Like, I'm already on the waypoint. Look at that. It's still locked onto this. Like, why? That makes no sense. This issue is also in the town. It locks onto players instead of the waypoint. Like, I don't want to interact with players. Who wants that? I just want to lock onto waypoint. But it accidentally locks onto players, and it asks, do you want to party with them? Of course I don't want to party with them. I don't want to play with anyone. Now, minion health bar, I think, is a big problem for minion players. Where do you see my golem HP? Normally you see it under here, right? But it shows here, or over the golem icon in the skill bar. But what, like, I only see 4 skills in here, so the other ones are hidden. Well, not hidden. You need to click RT or Alt D. If you're playing a minion build and you need to see your animate guardian HP to react when to like log out or anything, you don't see it because you're not gonna have animate guardian on your like main skill slots. What do you call them? Quick slots, skill slots, whatever. And you're not gonna be clicking RT and LT to view it right all the time. I really hate that part. Another thing, this is using totems to summon SRS. I have no idea how many totems I have. Normally you would see the amount of totems on the like above bar, near the above bar. You don't see that here. When I summon a totem, look, when I summon a totem, it has HP and it shows HP for the totem. If I have two totems, what? Do I have two raging spirits or two totems? Normally it's not a big issue, but if you have phantasms to another minion, it's gonna combine phantasms and other minions into one number. So if you have like 5 phantasms and 10 other minions, it's gonna show 15. And 15 what? What if it shows 12? Am I missing phantasms? Am I missing other minions? It's very inconvenient. I wish that we would just show it here, like the amount of totems, the amount of golems or stuff like that. Another thing, raising specters is a mega nightmare. Okay, if specters die and you already have specters in your desperate pool, it's not a big problem. But what do I do when you need to summon like fresh specters newly? You go to the zone and then you use desecrate, right? Now how do you use specters? Click the specters button and then you see the circle appearing, the blue circle. That's what marks or sort of tries to mark, like it's not really like directly marking what you want. It's like just like a directional thing. And then you see the missing health bar in the middle, what it's tagging. So I want host chieftains and carnage chieftains. So here's one carnage chieftain. Release the button and then it summons. Create another desecrate. Click this again. Host chieftain. They did improve the desecrate pool a bit, so it's not as bad. But okay, I click the specters button. How do you cancel that? Because you cannot not tag anything. If you have desecrate on the ground, it doesn't matter where you aim, it will still tag something. So you can actually click the menu button and then it will disable that. Or you can also click like inventory button. It will not disable, but then now you can release without summoning anything. So that's also very inconvenient. I thought that playing minions is gonna be easier, but it's actually worse than I expected. Oh, by the way, the dynamite is just kind of a neutral thing. The expeditions placing dynamite is both better and worse, because once you enable the dynamite, you basically carry it the circle around you, and if you want to adjust where to place, like more precise, then use the right thumbstick. Use left thumbstick to move and carry the dynamite near you, or you can use right thumbstick to kind of drag it and be more precise. So yeah, that's pretty much it for. It's not all the advantages and disadvantages, but it definitely has some advantages, and well, it's probably more disadvantages. But if you got wrist pain and playing with the controller would fix your wrist pain, then I think it's very switchable, and it takes a bit of time to get used to, and I would recommend you to start a new build so you don't get overwhelmed by the amount of things that you need to click and remember what to click. One last thing, I had some people have issues with controllers not being detected. I'm not sure if it is a Steam issue, but it is fixable. On Steam, I believe you can right click on the game and go to the options and the controller support and then adjust something there. And if it's not Steam, then I'm not sure. But I had only people complaining about PlayStation controllers not being detected. Maybe it's just the Steam, maybe not. I'm not playing on Steam, and I'm using Xbox controller, so I had no problems with it being detected or not. Anyway, I know that this video is very long, and I'm not gonna be doing a build guide video about this. I just wanted to use like nostalgic, some raging spirits with totems, because the way I wanted to build was with the L quality, some raging spirits, getting more maximum raging spirits, and overall I can get fed with 1 raging spirits right now. And the 3 totems, it's quite quick, but like the totems are dying, the minions are dying. I don't feel like playing this build anymore, so I'm not gonna be doing a build guide video around this. So for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.